Diaries of a Wannabe Board Game Designer. Entry date 7th of August 2025. I'm JP Kurikka and I am a wannabe board game designer. I've been working with 3 game designs mostly lately, and with this I've learned a lot of practical tips how to use different tools to create your board game. So today I'm going through how to use different sheets, spreadsheets, to develop your cards using 2 tools that I'm using. Dextros, which is an online tool, and Tabletop Creator Pro, which is an installable application to your computer. You can buy it via Steam. And I'm using different spreadsheet tools, Google Sheets, and LibreOffice Calc. So let's start with the Dextros approach to this designing cards using spreadsheets. So I have this template here in Dextros that could be used to create game that you have cards for rolling dice. Well, that I don't think that would be reasonable, but that's for the educational purposes. Let's start by looking what the layout actually looks like. So edit layout here. And the most important thing here, in my opinion, is that you have good zone names. You should always be able to identify what information goes to which zone. So these should be so that you can clearly understand what these mean. Then another thing is that the information that you don't want to be able to change in the sheets, you disable it from the sheets. So like here we have this probability area title, which says roll probability in my case. I set it so that zone is not editable in table. So it's not shown there. You cannot edit this text in the spreadsheets. If you want it, you can just click this and it's editable there. But in this case, I don't want it to be editable. So the naming and hiding unnecessary information is the key here. Now let's look at the cards. So currently I have only one template card here, and I'm planning to make lots of cards. And okay, it looks like a table here, like a sheet here, and I can already edit these values here. Let's see, I want to change the image. Let's say it's 1d6, value is 1, so 1. Probability is already correct, and so it's 1 out of 6 probability. So this would be the idea. I want to add probabilities and values, all the possible throws of d6 and possibly other dice. Of course, I could write it down here, but it's much more feasible to do it in real spreadsheet application. So I want to bring this to Google Sheets app. You can use anything else, but Google Sheets works, I think, very greatly with Dextros. So usually I want a template first, so I'm using this card that I have here as a template. I click here and I say that copy table data to clipboard. Then I go to my Google Sheets and just paste it here, and we have all the data. So it's the same thing that we had in the Dextros that we have now in our Google Sheets, and now I can use all the Google Sheets formulas and magic that this has, so that I can create lots of cards easily. So let's do that. So let's add some cards here, like so. Okay, now we notice that there's some formatting issues as always. Let's just format this as plain text. And now we have all the possible values for the 1d6 and 2d6 dices. Okay, now we need to get this information to the Dextrous. So how do we do it? Dextrous here have this ability that we can link CSV file to the card sheet. And we need CSV link, and for that we are going to share this sheet to the internet via File, Share, Publish to the web. Not entire documents, just sheet 1, and let's see here, it's comma separated values and publish. Yes, I'm sure I want to do that. Now I have a link here. I copy it and go to Dextrous and paste it here. Import data. Are you sure you want to override? Yes, I'm sure. And after a while, voila! I have all the cards that I need here. Now, let's see. What's the beauty of this? Now, if I want to add more cards, of course, I can edit it here in Dextrous, or I can edit it here in Google Sheets. But if I edit it here in Dextrous, I have no possibility to make version markings or information like that. If I use Google Sheets, it automatically saves version information. I can even tag different versions. This is 1.1 and so on. And Dextrous is quite good in this integration, so that if I make a change here, for example, I noticed that, okay, I can say that value of 2, value of 3 has an odd of happening of 2 out of 36 throws. So okay, it's okay, but it would be much nicer to say that it's a value of 1 out of 18 and so on. So I can make this fix, go to the Dextrous and click here, refresh CSV. And if everything goes nicely, we should have our new information there available here, like so. So any changes you made to these values here, for example 1 to 6, and you can go back to Dextrous and click refresh. You can have massive changes there, fix the cards, and everything is related back to Dextrous here. So this is how it works. You can have a lot of cards, you can edit it there, and so on. One thing that you should notice about Dextrous is that it has separate imports for fronts and backs. So to be able to import backsides, I would do the same thing. I would first copy table data to clipboard, go to my sheets, I add a new sheet here, copy paste it here so I get all the field names correctly, and then I need to add all the information that the backside needs I can edit like this here. And then I need to also publish this sheet 2 as a comma separated values, publish. Yes, I want to do that. And copy paste this link here, and then link component to CSV, add it here, and so import data. Yes, I'm sure I want to replace everything. Okay, so something went wrong, of course. So I made a little mistake here. Why does it show badly? So I can make a correction. The image and the name were another way around. So like this. Of course, I could just have changed the names of the columns. That's one thing. But I like to do it like this. And let's see. Refresh. Hopefully everything goes fine. There's usually some delay. Like you see, it doesn't affect right away. There's a few minutes delay. Okay, it's been 2 minutes. Refreshing, like so. So there's a bit delay on that, like we saw, but in general, it's quite fast. So this is it, how you do it with Dextros. And then let's see how the same thing is achieved with Tabletop Creator Pro. A Tabletop Creator, the same thing, same kind of code. And let's start by looking at this blueprint, like Tabletop Creator calls it. And also here, it is very important that the names of the panels that are on your blueprint tell you what information is contained there. Okay, I have name here panel 002, so that doesn't tell me anything. Just let's change it to the probability title, like so. So it tells a lot more what this is about. There seems to be some panels that I've named, but I don't want to edit those, so it's not important in that case. Also here, you should disable editability of the information you don't want to edit in the spreadsheet version. So border, for example, I have advanced options here. It's marked as editability off. Same goes for the color, but I want to be able to edit images. I want to be able to edit the textual presentation of the value, actual value, and so on and so on and so on. So I want to be able to edit all this information. And let's go back to, here also the backside goes as it would be in the Dextros version. Now, back to the components. I already have one card here. Oh, it's only template card, there's no information. First, I usually want to export all the data. We have data here, and we can export it as CSV, and we can export this as Excel file. If you have Microsoft Excel, of course the Excel file is a better one, but I like to use CSVs. So I just export this, then it asks me what information I want to export. I want to export my dices cards, and I like to leave out all the extra information that I won't be needing. All the visibility properties, color properties, fill colors, everything that I don't need. So like right now, I've selected only the most basic information that I want to include. Then I just click export. Yes, like so. And this is all the card information we have here, and now I could use this file to add more information, more cards, more everything here. But to make things more interesting, I'm gonna take a little bit different approach. I'm gonna use the same information that I had in my Dextros files. It's important that you take care what format your data is. For example, these odds 1 to 6 and so on would be easily transformed as timestamps. So I need to say that this is text when I import data from other places. Then, because we have fronts and backs on the same document in this tabletop creator, we can just have that information here also. So, okay. I just copy pasted from Google Sheets this Dextros information. And now we switch back to the tabletop creator. And so importing data from tabletop creator, import CSV, opening file. Now this is the most important and a bit different than in Dextros. So first we want to select what components we are importing, so it's dices. And now it says that there are some field names that it doesn't recognize. One is that our file from Dextros has a column named copies, and well, this tabletop creator doesn't know what the copies would be, so I can select it here. So in the same thing in tabletop creator pro is item amount. Nickname we don't have. I usually use item node in that case. Then we have value number, but in my sheet it was named value, or in the Dextros it was value number, and in tabletop creator I used the term value, and then there is a dice name. For some reason it doesn't recognize it, and it is because it's a different case, so it is case sensitive. So there are the changes, import data, and like so. And one thing to notice, and one difference between Dextros and Tabletop Creator Pro is that Tabletop Creator Pro always creates new cards. It doesn't delete old cards. So here is the old template card that we had, and then there are all the cards we just imported. If you do it again, import data, opening file, open file, like so, they are the same things. I need to select these every time. So it would be important that these names of columns would match, so I wouldn't need to click these every single time. It's dice name, yes. And I click import. There is this option delete all items before importing, so that would replace everything, but if I don't click it, there are only new cards, so it duplicates them. So this is how it is done. So it's much easier to add components from separate files in Tabletop Creator, but it's much more work because you have to always select the file there. and you easily end up adding cards instead of replacing cards. So there are situations where it is good, there are situations where it's not so good. I like the Dextrose way that it can be integrated on the web, onto the Google Sheet, so that I can always click just one button and it updates all the information. So there. It is important that you remember that you should name all the fields that you use so that you understand them. Use those field names as column names. Actually, in Tabletop Creator, you could choose this matching which column name match which field in the cards. You don't have that possibility in the Dextrose. The name is the name is the name, so the name must always match. But the process is pretty simple, and what's good in this, you can change the cards easily in the spreadsheet, have different versions, upload those versions. It's much quicker to change a lot of cards using this approach than making them in the application itself. Also, like we saw, we can transfer the data from another application to another application quite easily. Of course, you need to make the layouts for the both application, but actual card data is easy to transfer between applications like this. So this is what I've learned about this so far. I've been doing some other things also with these applications, and I think that in the future I'll be making a diary entry about different spreadsheet formulas that I use to create calculated data, or that can help me to create cards. Already in my Jewel Exchange game, I've used a lot of formulas. The same thing goes for the Cats on the Table game that I'm making. So these formulas can help you to create cards much more easily. There are some tricks on that, so perhaps I'm going through those later on. So this is the simplest way of using spreadsheets to create game components. That's it for this entry. Thank you for watching. If you like this, if you have any comments, please comment, click the like button or click the subscribe link, and we'll see you next time.